Hello everyone, my name is Hanan Abdilla. I'm from the class 12-6 and my absent number is absent 11. So today I want to tell you a little story, you could say this a legend, about the first ever prophet, a very famous one. I think there's a lot of version. It's about Adam and his wife Hawa. So I will begin. A long, long time ago, Allah created the sun, the moon, and the earth. After creating these, he saw that his creation was incomplete. So he asked his angels to collect clay from the earth. The obedient angels collected clay, and Allah made a man-like figure with it. And the God named him Adam. But the figure didn't move for 40 long years. It just stood still there. When Iblis saw this figure, he was confused and scared. And after 40 long years, one day, Allah decided to breathe his spirit into Adam. When the spirit reached the head of the figure, it sneezed. When the spirit reached his eyes, he saw all the amazing food lying around. Then the spirit reached his stomach, and Adam felt hungry. The prophet had seen the fruits lying around, so before the spirit could even reach his legs, he jumped towards the fruit. Adam fell down as he couldn't move his legs. Then Allah asked all the angels, including Iblis, to prostrate before Adam as a sign of respect. One by one, all the angels prostrated before the prophet except Iblis. Iblis said that he was better than the prophet and he was made from fire. Allah got angry with this disobedience, so he banished Iblis from paradise. From that day, Iblis was called as the Shaitan, and he was thrown into the hell. Shaitan was now very angry with the humans as he was banished from the paradise. Because of them, he vowed to take revenge by misleading the human. Allah then taught Adam the names of every animal in paradise: the lion, sheep, camel, elephant, dove, peacock, and so many more. Allah taught the prophet that he was allowed to eat every fruit in the garden except one. God taught the prophet that he should not eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge, and that it was forbidden, and he spent most of his time playing with the animals in paradise. After a few years, the prophet became lonely as there were no other humans in paradise. Allah saw this, so he decided to give Adam a wife. That night, when the prophet was sleeping, God created the first woman. When the prophet woke up, he was happy to see the woman. He then named her Hawa, because she was made from something living, which is Adam's rib. Both of them lived happily in paradise for a very long time. Shaitan was still angry at the humans. Many years had passed by, so Shaitan knew that the prophet must have forgotten the words of Allah. One day, he made a plan that would banish the prophet and his wife from paradise. Shaitan came to the paradise and tricked the prophet and his wife into eating the forbidden fruit. The prophet and his wife unknowingly plucked the fruit and started eating it. But even before they could finish eating the fruit, they knew they had committed a grave sin. They were now filled with pain, sadness, and shame. After eating the fruit of forbidden knowledge, they realized that they were naked, for they ran to cover themselves upon leaves. They were now really scared, as they knew Allah would punish them for their disobedience. When Allah came to know about this, he got angry. He got angry, and the prophet and his wife were thrown out of the paradise. The prophet and his wife walked away for a very long time, and they finally settled down near a river. The prophet knew that the life on earth was going to be very difficult. He had to make a house for them to live, and he had to work hard to feed his family. They now no longer have the pleasures they enjoyed in paradise. After a few years, Hawa gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl. They named the boy Kabil, and later Hawa gave birth to another twins. Again, a boy and a girl. This time they named the boy Habil. Both Habil and Qabil grew up. Qabil took to farming. He worked in the fields and grew crops. And when Habil grew up, he became a shepherd and took care of the sheep. When Habil and Qabil grew up to become adults, the prophet decided to get them married. Since there were no other females on earth, the prophet decided to get Qabil married to Habil's twin and Habil to Qabil's twin. Qabil's twin sister was more beautiful. While Habil's sister was not that beautiful, Qabil was not happy with the arrangement and he wanted to marry his own sister. There was an argument, and the prophet decided to settle the issue by offering a sacrifice to Allah. It was decided that the one whose sacrifice is accepted will marry Qabil's sister. Habil collected the best lamb from his cloak and offered it as a sacrifice to Allah. But Qabil didn't want to offer the best fruits and vegetables as sacrifice. Instead, he chose the best vegetables and grains for sacrifice Allah, accepted the sacrifice of Habil, but rejected the one made by Qabil. The Prophet was present when they made their sacrifices, and it was decided that Habil would marry Qabil's sister. But Qabil was not at all happy with the decision. He was so angry that he wanted to kill Habil. One day, Habil was late coming home, and the Prophet sent Qabil to search for him. Qabil was searching for Habil, and he went to the fields, looking for Habil, of course. Alas, he found Habil walking towards home. Qabil was still angry with Habil. Your offering was accepted, but mine was not. To which Habil replied, Allah only accepts from those who fear him. Qabil was angry to hear this, and he picked up a stone to hit Habil. Habil saw this, and even though he was bigger and stronger than Qabil, he said, Even if you stretch your hand to kill me, I will never stretch my hands to harm you, because I fear Allah. This comment further angered Qabil, and he struck him with the stone, instantly killing him. When Qabil realized that Habil was dead, he was terrified and didn't know what to do. He didn't want his father to know what he has done, so he started thinking about ways to hide his sin. Qabil wandered from place to place with the dead body of Habil trying to hide it. That was when he saw two crows fighting with each other. During the fight, one crow killed the other, and the dead one fell down. The victorious crow then scratched and dug a hole in the ground. He buried the dead crow in the hole he had dug. Then he filled the hole with mud. This gave Qabil an idea, and like the crows, he dug a hole on the ground and buried his brother's body in it. This was the first burial of a man. Qabil was ashamed of what he had done. Shaitan had won over him, and he knew that he could no longer go back to his family. The Prophet knew what had happened, and he mourned the loss of his son. He had lost both his sons. One was dead, and the other was misled by Shaitan. He warned his other children about Shaitan and asked them to always obey the commands of Allah. After a long time, the Prophet had many more children. The Prophet had grown old, and his children loved him very much. When Adam realized that his death was near, he appointed Seth as the successor to his family at the time of his death. The angels came to his house and stood beside him. When the Prophet realized that the angel of death had arrived, he smiled peacefully and passed away. So that is the story of Adam and Hawwa. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you learned something from it, because I myself learned a lot. Thank you for watching, and see ya!